Welcome everybody to Dad's going bold, going solo, going bold. Um, my name is Adam. I'm a life coach and a single dad who loves being a single dad. I love being a dad and being around my son and being able to take care of him. Um, it has been an honor to do that. And I also have my co-host with me, King Jackson, here, and he is also my brother. So he is a single dad of my niece. So Jay or King,
Yeah.
uh, what do you love most about being a dad?
What I love most about being a dad is the way. Okay, let's take that off.
Yeah. There we go.
There we go. Sorry about that. What I love most about being a dad is the way it has pushed me.
Definitely have some technical difficulties.
The way it's pushed me to become a better man for myself, my daughter, and my family. I'm turning this down a little bit.
There you go.
There we go. Yeah. So, becoming a dad is just it's made me become a better man for me and my family. Pushed me to go above and beyond and change my life for the better.
Absolutely, and that's that's the goal, right? Like that's what we work for on a daily basis. Like, uh,
You might want to turn it down a little bit. Turn your speaker volume.
sorry about that. Is that better? There we go. So that's what I mean. That's what it's about. I mean, being a better man and stepping up, becoming, who we need to be for our offspring, and that's what works the best for everyone involved. So a little bit of background. Layla's
Five.
5 years old, and she is a gorgeous. My niece is gorgeous, and my son and my niece love when they don't see each other very often. Like we don't see each other a whole lot,
Yeah.
but when they do, they are partners in crime, and it's scary.
Like brother sister almost.
Yeah, exactly. It's very scary.
Yeah.
But the fact that you stepped up as a father and are there for your little girl. I mean, I know it was hard. I know it took a lot. I know it took a lot to be in the position that you're in now. Because you have full custody. It's just you.
Yep.
And I've been in that similar situation, and it takes a lot.
Yeah, it takes a lot of energy out of you. It can beat you down at times, but the end goal is priceless.
Absolutely. I mean, having our kids, I wouldn't. I mean, yeah, it took a toll, like on me mentally. It took financially, physically, whatever, like in all aspects of my life. But it was definitely the outcome is the reward of it. The child,
is seeing them smile.
Exactly, seeing them smile.
To live those first milestones. Like Layla's first day at kindergarten was last week. First day on the bus was yesterday.
Yeah,
she loves it.
How'd that go?
That went pretty good. She was really excited at first, and then she's so shy at first though. So I knew like once we got to the bus, it would be an issue. But we actually met a little girl that lives about 3 houses down. She's a little older than her, from us, and she took her hand, and her mom was right there, and she were best buddies, and she was good.
That's awesome, man. And what's crazy is like when you think about it, like with our situations, like they may not have had those opportunities.
Yeah.
Without us.
Yeah.
Like, and without being in the position that they're in right now, like it's mind blowing.
Yeah.
To think that like, yes, our struggle, like was our struggle, whatever, we struggled a little bit, but those kids don't have to.
Yeah.
They don't have to know about that kind of struggle with us and not have dad there
Yeah.
and grow up without that there, or you know what I mean? Like a lot of kids do, and it sucks. But like we have a huge opportunity to be different than the stigma that's out there for uh, dads in general.
Dads, single parents.
And like for you and I, African American dads.
Yeah.
Like, but single parents in general, like I said, this show has nothing to do about knocking single moms or whatever. Like single parents in general, any parent that steps up, hats off to you. Absolutely. As a dad, it's not what you expect. It's not what society expects.
Yeah, I get the wows all the time.
The wows.
And for me, I'm just doing what I need to do.
Exactly. Like it's just another day. Like
yeah.
I'm doing what in my eyes, it's like I'm doing what anybody would do. But then like think about it, I'm like, I never dad.
Yeah.
Like so like maybe I'm not doing what anybody would do.
Yeah.
But background kind of she's 5 years old.
5 years.
She's hitting her milestones.
Yeah.
How long was the battle to get to where you are like now?
Since she was born, it's always been a battle. Me and her mom were, together, sort of, for about 2 years, and then when everything starts crumbling down, then it really kicks it up a notch. I had to go through quite a bit of things, such as false restraining orders and false DHS accusations. I overcame them all, beat all the cases, and I ended up being the one that filed for custody. And I mean, that's where it comes in mentally for me, is like that fight, when you can't see your kid, because of a court order for a minute.
Absolutely.
You just have to buckle down and, stay focused on that end goal, and, not do anything rash or, so, come court, the truth prevailed, and I had my kid, and the fight is actually still going on, but we're trying to make it less of a fight.
Absolutely.
I hope her mom is on the same page as that, but you never know how that's going to go. But yeah, it's going to be an everyday thing, honestly.
Absolutely.
Minimizing that.
I think
keeping it out of the eyes of the child.
Exactly, and that's the most important thing, is keeping it out of the eyes of the child. Like we have different situations than some people where they can co-parent and they co-parent well.
Yeah.
We've tried that.
Yeah.
Didn't go well. So that being said, like it has to stay out of the eyes of the child. The child has to be able to see some kind of cooperation with one another.
Yeah.
And nothing irrational, no fighting, no bad mouthing to their parents, regardless of who has custody, who doesn't. A child should never have to decide between their parents at that point. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So going forward, you're still in court right now.
Still in court. Right now it's just basically a what do they call it? Basically mediation. Mediation type stuff. We both have attorneys, but because we are on very the best co-parenting talking terms. So we're going through mediation and attorneys to come up with a different parenting plan.
Absolutely.
So custody and whatnot's not going to change. But at the end of the day, a child needs both parents. So you got to be open to it. And,
absolutely,
as long as there's not extreme circumstances. In this case, thankfully there's not, but we're just getting through it.
Good. My niece is very happy. She's a very happy little girl all the time. So I can tell you are doing an amazing job. So let's go into a little about you. You are entrepreneur, business owner, single dad.
everything.
Superman, do everything all at the same time.
Yeah, me. I'm just right now. This is the first year I started an LLC of my own. So legal business owner as of now.
Congratulations, by the way.
Yeah. So chipping away at that. Looking forward to doing this with you. So that's another
Absolutely.
thing on the plate here. I currently work at home for On Inc., which is a Swedish athletic apparel company. So I do like data analysis and whatnot for them.
That's
Um,
awesome.
and just love the outdoors. Love to do things with Layla, go on
Absolutely.
adventures, and make good connections.
You're very good at making connections. You're very good at the business side of a lot of things, and the data side, you're very analytical.
Yeah.
Is that hard to take the analytical side of you, of who you are, and then also like being a dad? Like
Oh yeah.
analytics doesn't come into it anymore.
Definitely, it's like you sometimes you just gotta realize that they're 5 or they're 4 or they're 3, and that's just what they're gonna do, and there's no explanation for it. It doesn't have to be logical all the time.
Almost never. Almost
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think it comes down to a lot of not holding them to adult expectations,
absolutely.
which I think a lot of parents tend to do. Why'd you drop that on the floor? And they don't know.
I'm 3. Like
So yeah, it's really about just being aware. Yeah.
absolutely. So being an only parent. Hold on one second. Oscar, no. Being an only parent. Sorry, my dog's barking. Being an only parent. How has that? Have you seen it affect Layla at all?
Yeah, definitely, especially in the recent months with mom just coming in after about 2 years of just being inconsistent. Um, I can see the attitude change. Every once in a while I hear, I want to go to my mom, and you got to be the disciplinary voice, because you can't just let them do whatever all the time. But, I can see it taking a toll on her a little bit. I mean, that's just when, as a parent, you got to comfort them. And so for me, I got to take it down a notch and be like, okay, she just needs me right now.
Yeah.
She just needs a hug. She just needs to be loved.
Exactly.
And that's all it comes down to. But yeah, being a single parent, it definitely takes a toll on a child. Me, I kind of grew up in just a weird type of parental situation. So yeah, it definitely took a toll on me. So sometimes I flash back and think of my own childhood and try to connect it to what maybe she might be going through.
I was just thinking about that the other day, and I was like, I think Cece and I actually talked about it the last time. Is like be who you needed when you were younger.
Yeah.
Like that's my philosophy of how I can be a dad and be proud of the dad that I am is by being who I thought I needed when I was younger, or doing what I needed.
You had
exactly.
In your mind.
Exactly. The effect of it, like for D, like he'll act out or like, no, I don't want to do this. I'm gonna leave. Where you gonna go? You look around like to my bedroom. Okay. But like being the only dad or the only parent it's rough because you have to make that decipher of when you can be, when you have to discipline and be that solid no, like this is you put your foot down, and then when you can have that lenience and finding that balance with a child is the most, and even in 2-parent homes, finding that balance is probably it's
definitely hard,
very difficult.
Yeah, I think it's all about the approach, honestly. you can say no and still be comforting and loving at the same time.
Absolutely. I agree with
It
that.
may not work as well as you think you're doing when you're just saying no, don't do that. But I mean, it probably works a lot better, and it's probably a lot better on their mental state. So
Absolutely. And like how you approach the topic of whatever it is too.
Yeah.
Like, why don't we do this? Like
Mhm.
we have gotten to the stage. Well, I've gotten to the stage where
Explain to them, elaborate on it.
exactly. It's not just no.
Yeah.
Why not? Because I said so. Like
Yeah.
now it's like no. Why? Because I said so. Why? Like, okay,
It's
let
so
me just
easy
give
to
you an
say.
answer.
It's so easy to say because I said so, because we're so tired and exhausted at the end of the day. We just want to sit down, but taking that extra time means the world to them.
Yeah, absolutely. I think all of the extra time that we have that is very slim, I mean, goes to them regardless. But like, what have you found that like, do you do certain structured things when you have that extra time, or like, do you have like, hey, Layla, what do you want to go do?
Yeah, sometimes I just wing it. Like when I have a movie night. Um, my days sometimes they're just kind of they just go. They're not really planned out.
Yeah.
When I do get that extra time, it's like, what do you want to do, Layla? I want to go to the park. If it's too late to the park, I'm like, all right, let's cook up some popcorn and have a movie night. She loves those.
Yeah.
It's about spending that quality time with them and putting down your phone, putting down the social media, putting down the work, all that, and just spending time with them. And, you could literally do anything. You can go on a walk. They'll love it. They'll remember that forever.
And I think it's crazy because like spend that quality time and things like that, like you don't see, or I guess the stigma of dads isn't that. That's a feminine or a motherly thing to do. Whereas I see it as like it's a human thing to do. Like you know what I mean? Like it's a parental thing to do. It's what we should do with all of our children, in any child. All children need that quality time, that care. Do you think that like children of single parents need it more? Do they need that quality time more with you, with me, with a single mom, with whoever?
That's a good question. I haven't actually thought about that one a lot, but yeah, I mean, I think it depends on the child, but in some cases, yeah, they might need a little extra more, especially if the other parent isn't able to give that quality time. But if that other parent is around, is doing, because you can co-parent, there's 50-50 out there. It just depends on the situation. I definitely would say to that, as much quality time as you have to offer, give it to them.
Exactly. And that's where, when I was thinking about this last night, I was thinking these questions and stuff, like that's where my head went. It was like, as much time as I have, I'm gonna offer it. Like, why wouldn't I?
Yeah.
Like I can go do this, and this, but like, it's much better to go do.
Even incorporate things like daily chores with them. Like, when you're cleaning, and sometimes we don't want them to get in the way because they usually make another mess. But you can give them a broom and teach them how to do it. That's quality time right there.
So, absolutely. The struggles of being a single parent and our situation with how we became single parents, it takes more of a toll on just like physically wanting to give up, or it's the mental side of it too.
Yeah, that was real tough for me. I was going through a lot more than just the custody thing and the restraining orders right before custody, the case. I mean, in dealing with that, it makes it a whole lot harder to stay focused. I had a lot of things on my plate other than custody that I needed to get done as well, and it just takes away. And you can get
Sorry, one second. stop.
Yeah. So yeah, you can get depressed and not really know what to do next in situations like that. What worked for me was I found meditation very helpful.
Mhm.
So I started meditating every single day. That calmed down the anxiety, the nerves, the depression, all of that. And I also seek help, through members of the community, you know, uh, treatment centers just for mental health, just so somebody I can go talk to during the day and
Absolutely.
explain what's going on. All of that stuff is great. Like it really helps. And that's what really got me through the whole custody battle. Like,
And I think there's a stigma with that as well as with being a man or a dad or whatever, that like we're supposed to be mentally strong and be able to take it. And I think it's hard for anybody in general. Like that's going to be difficult for anyone.
yeah.
And I think the stigma of also the fact that like, well, I know where we came up from. Like mental health was like, if you're not strong, like you need to figure it out. Like you're fine.
Yeah.
Man up. I better. You close that window.
Yeah.
Just take your hand through it. It takes a toll, but like enough of a toll that people don't actually like. They back off of everything. I think the depression and the anxiety and the whatever comes with it causes a lot of dads who even just want to see their kids, like just want to have visitation or whatever. It causes them to back off and be like, oh, I don't want to fight for this. I don't want to go through this. So I'm just going to stop it completely.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's the best way to handle it.
Yeah, no, it's not. Me going through what I went through, all of it, and just seeing that, I can see how some people could just, give up. Anybody out there that is in that situation, don't give up. Your kid is, the best thing that's ever going to happen to you. It might be hard now, but they're going to really appreciate that fight when they can grow older and understand that. But, I was just talking with my attorney actually today about that. And, he was just, he's real impressed with what we're doing here and stuff. So if anybody needs any outlets, just let us know, me or Adam, and we can get you connected with any type of resource you really need.
Absolutely. We will talk about more resources. We're going to go to a quick break, and then when we come back, we'll talk about resources, kind of what we've used, and then also boy dads versus girl dads. All right. All right. We'll be back in just a moment.
All right. It's the mic on.
Good.
Good.
And we are back. Again, my name is Adam Ford. I'm here with my co-host Katie, and we were just talking about uh, the resources that we used, or that can be attained by others to be able to, um, one, cope with things, two, in the court system, understanding it, just finding different groups, whatever. So one thing that we want to do is we want to be able to open this up, this whole show, as well as if there's anybody who needs any kind of resource or has any questions, they can always come to us and ask us. You can private message us through our Facebook page. It's Dad's going bold, I believe. I'll double check that, but we're playing around with names. So, message us and we can try and get you in contact with the right people. I know that I've used some that you've given me, some that I've given you, and hopefully become kind of a community or a group or a place that people can feel safe and talk about what they're feeling, their problems, about what they need help with. And I think that helped me. Did you find that those kind of resources, or any resource is that in particular that you liked and used quite a bit to help you through your process?
Well, one in particular in Portland was called, it's from this organization called Pathfinders Group. And they offered a class, I'm sure they're still doing it, called Caring Dads. So it's a 17-week course of just fathers. And they dig pretty deep into, it's not just for single dads at all. Any father can go there. But they dig real deep into, the psychology for children, child psychology. And it was just a real eye-opening experience to sit there and listen to other dads and the leaders of the group, like, really educate you on how to be a parent. And there's not many out there that really dug this deep, I feel like. So that's a good one I used. I'm still in contact with some of the counselors there and whatnot. Great group of people. If anybody's interested, I'll send you that way.
It's called Pathfinders.
Yeah, that's the name of the organization. They do a lot of other things too.
Cool.
And then places like that, they've got gift baskets at Thanksgiving and stuff like that, if you ever need any resources like that. But the main thing with finding help is asking. You have to get out there and use your voice and ask for help and figure out what's out there for yourself. Because there's a lot of it. And, if you need food, you need housing assistance, you can find it. You just got to keep asking, and eventually you're going to come across the right person that's going to point you in the right direction.
Yeah.
Another one I used was Layla's Head Start. So she was in Head Start for 2 years. They actually came and gave me a bunch of resources and actually helped me financially as well. Just along our journey, just parenting your life easier. So that was a good one. I'm sure, your school counselor, your child's school counselor would be able to point you in the right direction as well. As far as attorneys and whatnot, I kind of did that own research. Came across a really great one. Some people don't have the funds for an expensive one. There's a resource in Portland called St. Andrew's Clinic, and they offer, reduced fees. It's like volunteer, like lawyers will volunteer at the clinic, and they won't be as pricey as if you went straight to their firm. So that's a good one that I like to use. And other than that, there's one I have not tried yet, but I'm looking into, called PDX Dads Group. So I'm trying to see what they all have to offer there. I've seen quite a bit of them online.
Well, I know you and I have talked about, like, starting our own group in Portland, like specifically, like in-person group in Portland.
And that kind of, that was right when COVID hit. Is I had actually got a bunch of guys together to do that, and the goal for that was just to have at least one day out of the month where we all got together as dads with our children, whether you're a single father or not. And we did something like go to OMSI, go to the zoo, have a barbecue at the park. COVID hit, and so hopefully we can start that back up.
I think that I absolutely want to start that back up. I think that when you called me with that idea and you're like, hey, let's do this, I was like, absolutely. I think there's a huge need for it, and not just for single dads, just for dads in general to, have that time with their kid, and then have the kid be around other kids and be around friends. And it's a good social time that the kids could remember with their dad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that's a great idea, and I definitely think that you and I will give more details probably the next show that we do, which we're doing the show bi-weekly, so it won't be next week, the week after. We'll be able to elaborate on that a little bit more. And if anybody is interested in any kind of resources or wants to talk more about what King has said, anything about, please feel free to message us. We'll be able to assist you, or at least point you in some kind of right direction. I know that I've looked statewide, I've looked nationwide, I've looked individual states, and if I can research it and find it, I will help whoever I can be able to get the resources that they need. Now, you did say something about you have to ask, and I feel like another thing that we don't do well as men is ask for help. And that's just in general. That's literally in this situation. But when I tell you that asking for help is the most important part of taking that step of being a father or being a parent, it absolutely is, because it takes a village to raise a child. It takes more than just a parent. Together or not, it takes a village. Asking for help as a man is always like, oh, I don't need no help. I don't need help. I'm good. I'll figure it out. Until you can't. And like I got to that point, like where me and D, like I'm trying to do everything, and like everything's piling up on top of each other. Everything's, and literally things just started to crumble because I could not do all the things at once. To where like it got to me mentally, because I was like, why can't I do this? Like I'm going crazy. Like why can't? Well, maybe if I slept, that would help, because I wasn't asleep. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
gotta take care of yourself.
Eventually, I had to stop and be like, I need some kind of help. I need some kind of resource. I need some kind of something. And for me, it was help with, as far as like daycare for 10 minutes. Like, my mom has helped me a ton. Or like my uncle, my aunt and uncle, whoever, they will have always offered to help and be there. As well as like, for me, the biggest thing was like getting my mind right and making sure that I stayed mentally strong for him, so that I could help him in any way that he needed to be helped. But then also, we used to do a show called The Care Package, and it was about taking care of yourself while also trying to take care of everything else that you're taking care of. And I had to step away and be like, yo, like, I really do have to do something for myself right now. Like one thing. It could be I go to the gym for an hour, or I go on a run, or I go, write music, or I go do whatever. But I had to do that at least once a week to be able to like calm down and decompress.
You have to take care of yourself before you can take care of anybody else.
Absolutely. If we're not in good health, we can't take care of them. You know what I mean? All right. Girl dads versus boy dads. Being a boy dad, it's awesome, because like any guy who wants a kid is like, yo, I want a boy. So I want a son. I want a son. You know what I mean? I don't think you would change. I don't think that you'd be like, nah, I want a son. Like, I think you'd be like, yo, I've seen you with her. Like, you are an amazing girl dad. You are a girl dad, bro. Like, you are an amazing girl dad. And it's difficult. I think probably more difficult for girl dads than it is for boy dads.
Yeah.
Because of, bro, I'm gonna tell you right now, even if I had another kid and it was a girl, I'd be scared out of my mind.
Yeah.
I don't, when you, what different obstacles have you had to overcome, do you think, as a girl dad?
I feel like naturally she has just a lot more emotions and feelings that I kind of have to adapt to.
I got to have to adapt to. Oh, choice.
I'm kind of like I don't really express that side of me a whole lot.
Yeah.
So having a girl, it's like, okay, I've got to come out my own shell. I've got to show emotion. I've got to become vulnerable, you know. So in that aspect, I feel like, yeah, it was tough, but I learned to do it. Like, I sit there and I've had tea parties with her, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Let her, you know, I let her paint my nails one time.
Yep.
You know, it's just you out of the box stuff that guys don't normally do. But I think it's very important for a little girl to see, you know, her father, you know, take the time and connect with her on that level.
Yeah.
You know,
I think that's the most masculine thing, though. When you like just being able to be like, yeah, let my daughter paint my nails. So what? Like, that's, to me, like, it's not a form of. A lot of people see it, or the stigma is it's weakness, or it's whatever the case may be. But like, it's not. It's a form of love.
Yeah.
It's literally about, you love that child, so you'll literally do anything. Like, it doesn't matter. Which one do you think is easier, boys or girls?
No,
kids are hard in general, but boys or girls?
No. I think girls are a little bit more difficult of a challenge.
Yes,
I mean, you know my story. I basically took care of two stepbrothers, one by myself with Layla at the same time until some events. And aside from him having, you know, severe medical issues, he was easy.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
He just hung out with me and chilled. You know, Layla is just, she's amazing, but yeah, she takes it all out.
She takes it all out of you.
No, I love it though. And then, you know, just seeing, you know, for me, just looking out into the future, you know, more milestones and stuff. It's like, that's where it's really going to take a village for me, because I know nothing about, you know, the feminine growth spurts and whatnot. And so that kind of scares me. You know, there's also things you got to think about when you're out as a girl dad. And I don't want to take her into a men's restroom. They're just naturally just dirty, I feel like.
They're just disgusting.
So I don't want her around a bunch of guys. That's just my preference. So, I mean, there's been times where, like, you know, I've knocked first on the ladies' restroom and announced myself and who I am. And I'm here with my daughter. And if anybody came in, I announced it too. And, you know, let her experience the women's restroom. There's been other times where if somebody came to the men's restroom, I immediately stand outside.
Better leave.
A second. You know, but I mean, it's just, I feel like there's just a lot of those extra little aspects you have to think about as a dad.
Absolutely.
And then also you just get this, I don't know what to call it, but it's like this weird natural, like, overprotectiveness.
It's that
your daughter. To where I'm gonna have to control that sometimes,
because she's not dating with me as a father and me as her uncle. I don't think she should be allowed. She she don't get to date till she's married. So
The reality is, at some point, she's gonna have to.
I know.
And that's the tough thing to wrap your head around. Fight
Terrible.
with myself every day, so like I just choose not to think about it. That
Yeah.
time will come when it comes.
Wait, I don't. So she have 28 more years, so she can date. So it's fine.
28.
No, man. Like, it's being a boy dad is. I think it's easier, in my opinion, because for a dad, it's easier because you kind of just know.
Kind of just connect.
It just have like sports, cool.
Yeah.
Video games, superheroes, all that kind of stuff. Like it just that stuff that we grew up with. Like that's what we wanted. Let's do that.
That's one thing about Layla too that I love is she loves sports.
Good.
She loves it all, and so like we connect on both sides of things.
Absolutely,
which is amazing. And her superheroes. I think you saw the picture.
Yes, I saw the picture.
Supergirl. Yeah, so she loves it all, and she loves to get in the dirt.
Good.
So I mean, she does it both. So
yeah,
it's like I just let her be her.
Absolutely. I think it doesn't come down to which one. That was the point of the conversation. It doesn't come down to who. Boy dads, girl dads. As long as you let the child be themselves.
Yeah.
And you're there for it, and you encourage them in everything that they want to do. There's no being a dad's a dad, and it's awesome. Like as far as like going forward, like I'm not gonna force my son to play a sport he doesn't want to play, or like do this or do that. Like, hey dad, I want to play football. Great. Hey dad, I want to play basketball. Hey dad, I want to be in this play. Great, whatever, man. Like, let's do it. Let's rehearse lines. Let's learn the choreography. Let's do whatever it is. I'm gonna do that because it's something that he wants to do, and I want to be a part of it. I want to encourage him as much as possible, and I think that that's the case with any parent, or any dad, whatever. Those dogs, I swear. That's the case. That's what needs to happen. I think there's some generations that missed that part of things, where kids weren't allowed to just be themselves and do what they wanted to do, and as long as it's not harmful to the child or anything like that, it's all for it. All right, man. Well, it has been an honor to have you on. It's going to be an honor to have you on going forward. And we will be having some multiple more guests as the weeks come. I know we have a couple different musicians who are single dads. We have a couple different sports guys that are different. I think we're going to have a lot of.
I'm in talks with the Goldberg and Jones law firm.
Yeah.
We can get a legal aspect of things.
We will absolutely try and have somebody on for a legal aspect of things and what do's and don'ts, what we can and can't do, and resources that we still are trying to discover. But thank you for hosting with me, and
thank you
for submitting more shows. And thank you for watching the WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. There are many shows on that we would love for you to tune into. Ours, along with many, many others. So please check them out as we continue on this journey. And I thank you all for tuning in, and be kind to one another, love one another, and keep pushing. Thank you very much, y'all.